Shut your eyes. Stop your ears. The ineluctable progress of the physical world, if it cannot be stopped, can at least be ignored. All is change and decay. Nothing lasts. And the slow vicissitudes of flesh or fabric or stone all guide us on a slow spiral to obsolescence and oblivion. Everything you know will come to dust at the unseen hour. The pressure of time drives us on, slowly towards the brink. The impermanence of our mortality quails in the face of eternity. We flourish and wilt without a moment's pause. The vitality of youth is a precious commodity, seldom appreciated and never retained. But there are those who dream that they might turn back the clock, stave off the slow incursion of age and death. Those bold spirits that dare to reshape the world to their wills. Like the enterprising conquistador, fourth class, Rufus Strideforth, who even now steps from the gangplank of his tall ship onto the dark soil of a new continent.
So these are the famed Americas, wilder and more beautiful than even in my wildest dreams. And speaking of wild, beautiful dreams...
Welcome, traveller, to the new world. The meagre hospitality of our port colony is at the service of such a dashing adventurer.
You. Well, I could desire nothing more than to deserve the praises of such a kind and silky smooth-skinned lady. I introduce myself, Rufus Strideforth, fearless explorer, conqueror of heathen lands, uncoverer of ancient hidden artifacts, defiler of tombs. To me, great Vasco da Gama was but a child in a sandbox. I have returned unscathed from forbidden places that would turn white the lustrous hair of bold Alva Núñez Capeza de Volca.
Goodness.
I know. And now, I have landed here to perform a feat so daring, so great that the history books themselves will be unable to contain it. I, Rufus Strideforth, will find the rumoured, the infamous, the mythic Fountain of Youth! And claim it for His Majesty, the King of Spain.
Heavens. Never have I seen so fine a figure of an explorer. But please, Signor Strideforth, do not speak so loudly of your plans here in public. There are scroungers in the village that might take advantage.
Pardon me, I couldn't help overhearing that you're seeking the fabled Fountain of Youth.
Oh, dear.
I have just this very moment realised that I am very old and frail, and so is my wife.
Hello, I'm very, very old.
We would dearly like to join you in your excursion.
We'll probably drop dead before we're halfway there, but we would so like to be young again.
And maybe our experience and senility will be useful.
No, quite out of the question. You'll only slow me down.
Oh, that's not very gallant, is it? And in front of the young lady.
What? But oh yes, well, I only mean that. Wait, it might be a treacherous journey.
Oh, we don't mind. We've got nothing to lose anymore.
Well, that's settled then. We'll come with you.
Oh, good. Well, I suppose we'd best get going then. Ha! Where do we start?
I too have heard the whispers of the elusive Fountain of Youth. They say that it is located deep within the perilous land of darkness, but few venture there.
Land of darkness. Jolly good. Sorry, Andy. Which way is that?
I will guide you. I know the country around here. The first thing that we must do is wade through this swift-flowing monologue and into the dark forest beyond.
Righto! Follow me!
What does it feel like? What does... It feels like blinking, but not like blinking on purpose, just blinking, normal blinking, blinking when you aren't trying to blink, but just a blink. Try it. Try to feel yourself blink. Don't make yourself blink, but just let yourself blink. But be aware that you're blinking while you blink. Try it. Blink. That. It feels like that. The mornings are the worst. There's the leg pain, of course, the throbbing in my toe that never quite goes away. The stiff, crackling fingers, which I admit sound worse than they feel, but it's a good morning when I don't wake up from the pain in my back, forcing me up, forcing me to sit still and breathe into and through until I can move again. And of course, worse is not knowing how many times I've shifted in the night, how much has changed around me without me knowing it, how many patterns have shifted on the tablecloth. As a kid, I enjoyed those activity books, the ones where you were meant to blink, like blinking. I think just then, wait, where you had two pictures and you were meant to circle the differences between the two. Say the vase had 3 flowers instead of 2, or there was a different pattern on the tablecloth, or the spoon was missing, that sort of thing. I adored those. I don't know if they still make those. Are activity books still a thing? I should. I wouldn't. My life is one now. Is that? Blink. Circle the differences. The doctors have these exercises they want me to do. For the pain, I mean. Exercises to try to help with my deteriorating back. Exercises to try to keep my hands from completely locking into place. They want me doing these horrible exercises to increase my... But by the time I'm down on the ground, I'm usually just waiting for the... It's happening so often now, it's hard to... without getting distracted. It's not that I've got... I think it's more than that. It's the shifting. I'm convinced of it. It's taking its toll on the doctors don't bother to tell me what I already know about infinite dimensions and how each and every possibility is played out on a quantum level. And that somehow, when 2 fresh probability streams are rubbing against each other, just experimenting with parting waves and becoming parallel dimensions, somehow I shift from one to the other, but remember what it was like in the other one. So my mind just bumps over, and presumably the mind in that me bumps over too, and the next one, and on down the path of infinite possibilities. Though it's not, I know, it's not really a path. It's not linear, parallel dimensions. It's, it's a branching fractal pattern, like the veins in a leaf, like the wrinkles around the eyes, not there, then there, a few, then there's so many, spidering their way along, radiating outward more and more in the mirror. Dimensions, just ever so different, slightly different. 3 flowers instead of 2, slightly different pattern on the tablecloth. Missing spoon. The doctors don't tell me they don't know why I can remember what has changed. They don't tell me that they just don't know enough about how memory functions as exposed to appearance. Opposed. Wait. Experience. They don't know why I shift. I suspect they suspect that I'm always shifting into a new dimension where the only tiny difference is something that only I would be able to perceive, is too improbable to be a coincidence. Or so they would tell me, if they told me. All I know is it's a lot more now than it used to be. The doctors imply it has to do with getting, that my mind has got, whatever it is that holds me, ties me to one dimension, getting weaker. Like my muscles getting weaker, like my back and legs getting weaker. They think that exercises might help me focus, that I should do exercises. Someone of my advanced... When I wake up, I know I must have shifted 20 times in my sleep, and I don't know what I've missed, or if enough things are different so that it matters somehow. I don't know if the additive proper... I don't know if the combined nothingness inconsequence of all the differences have added up to somethingness consequence. And this fool hand can barely hold the pen. I keep lists now, listing the differences, circling the extra flour, circling the missing spoon for to keep track of where I've been, but writing is... They say it's just the arthritis getting worse and telling me to keep doing my exercises, but I don't. I feel like it's too aggressive, too much. My body can tell more, can tell that somehow this mind isn't the mind it had an hour ago. Something's off. My brain is wrong because of the shifting. The connections between my mind and this body are getting toggled on and off like there's a toddler at the light switch. The shifting and making them weaker, the connections are getting weaker and it's making it harder to... Again. Blink. Rapid today, not... I should go back. I can't go. What was... Did you ever empty your pockets, maybe to put your trousers or whatever in the laundry, and an hour later find a loose button or a safety pin, and you swear up and down and left and... That pocket was empty, I'm sure of it, but then, obviously I missed it. I must be losing my mind. Except that maybe you were not losing your mind. Maybe that pocket was empty. Then you shifted, and you found yourself in a dimension where the you that you replaced didn't quite check the pocket as well as you did. No. Listen. And you wrote it off because it didn't matter at all, because it was just a button or a safety pin, and maybe you did, but it feels. You just don't. You don't miss these things. You don't. And how long before something... Blink. Circle the extra flour. Circle the missing spoon. Another wrinkle around the eye. And but that. It feels like that.
So this is the land of darkness.
Certainly it's dark.
Oh, you can see where it gets its name now.
Ollie, you feel like we're being watched.
Don't say that.
These rainforests are alive with all kinds of wildlife. Venomous snakes, hungry jaguars, spiders the size of dogs.
Hallucinogenic frogs.
No, leave them alone.
It reminds me of my younger days.
Please come along. We must stay on our guards.
Oh, when we was young, we'd consume old bowls full of frogs and never be reminded of our responsibilities.
Those were the days.
Oh, I feel well due a second childhood.
I say you're well into it.
Oh, just imagine eternal youth.
Eternal youth, to be spared the pain and indignity of age.
Yes. It's never to fade away, to live in glory forever.
Never to grow weak or frail.
What was that?
What was what?
Oh, it's probably just your frog trip, dearie.
I saw a great feathered monster with a cleft head and eyes of flame. Lord have mercy.
Oh dear, the old man's off his rocker.
What? He may not be entirely demented. There is some enormous thing in this clearing.
Oh, it's one of the ancient indigenous deities.
Yup, that's me, hello! Once a powerful godhead representing the allure of fleeting youth, revered by the Olmec people for centuries until the primordial energies of creation coalesced into a mystical pool of life-preserving waters. At which point, youth no longer being fleeting from my erstwhile followers, I was banished, and being a lord of night retreated to this forest here, where I'm still technically the god of small rivers, certain beetles, the consumption of offal, and blinking. But all that seems pretty secondary when everyone's like, oh, look at me, I'm young forever. I mean, yeah, well, all right. Good for them. A little bit about me there, in case you were wondering.
But then you know where we can find the Fountain of Youth.
Oh, fine, just ignore the awesome glory of the magnificent god before you, and still more galling the pathos of his fallen state. Just Hey, pal, which way to the Fountain of Youth? That's all anybody wants to know.
Oh, you poor thing. It must be awful.
No, it's pretty horrible. No one even gives thanks to me anymore.
Thanks for the fleeting nature of youth.
Oh, you know, blinking, whatever.
None of it.
Well, we can do that, can't we? We give thanks to great... what are you called?
Lawrence Sebastian Fawkes.
We give thanks to the great god Lawrence Sebastian Fawkes for his gift of those golden halcyon days of childhood which are gone too soon.
Yes, yes. And for the consumption of offal. I really am grateful for that one, thank you.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah, you cheered me right up. How about a little blood sacrifice?
Well, we'd better not. Old people.
The dragon!
Thanks, great God, for small rivers.
Oh, yeah, and some sort of peel. Oh, that's the stuff. Just like the old days. Okay. That's a strange bird. Okay, well, fellow youth, just over next hill. But I warn you, no good can come of reaching that destination. Those particular ancient powers are destructive and evil, and will always take much more than they give. Youth is meant to pass, and those who betray the natural order are damned. Damned!
Those who betray the natural order.
Yeah.
Ha! Ha ha! You wait until you see our modern world. Yes, we'll come through all here and chop all this down for pasture land and paper. Yes. Now nothing will be sacred soon. Mark my words. Follow me! On we go!
Oh dear, I think there's something else hiding there in undergrowth. Look, there they go.
Chupacabras! Wendigos! Mermaids!
Oh, do knock it off, you stupid old hippie. It's just the indigenous people. I'm sure they mean us no harm.
We mean you significant harm! You cannot hope to escape!
You have strayed too far into our territory.
Blow bites! Run for your lives!
Oh, they got me. I've been poisoned.
Oh, me too! Oh, it's actually kind of mellowing me out a bit.
Save yourself, Rufus. I've been hit.
Imogen! No! You beast! Oh, you swines. What manner of venom have you used?
It is a mild concoction of tree sap and organic, locally sourced songman, Orlando James.
But my head is spinning. You both have such silky smooth skin.
Good night, conquistador.
There is a black river, flows from the east to the west, and it has grown and it has delivered me at my worst and my best. Oh, black river, swill and sway. Oh, black river, hear me say that I have been ducking and diving for way too long. The banks are steep and I can't hold on. Oh, black river, swill and sway. Black river, carry me away. There is a black currents of doubt, and all that water, yeah, it has delivered, and you shiver every time you get out. Oh, black river, swill and sway, oh, black river, hear me say that I have been ducking and diving for way too long. The banks are steep and I can't hold on. Oh, black river, hear me say, black river, carrying me away. Black river, carry me away.
Black river, black river, black river! But where am I?
You're in a cage, same as us.
What is this place? These strange designs in stone and gold. These colored fires. What accursed demon worship is being done by that bejeweled and silky smooth-skinned savage and his ambiguous helper?
This is no demon worship, Senor Strideforth. Unless we ourselves are demons.
Which we ain't.
So, not really in any sense, then.
Where's Imogen? What have you done with her, you monsters?
She is perfectly safe, Senor Strideforth. She's here with me.
Yes, Rufus, you needn't be concerned on my account.
Oh, don't tell me you're in league with this silky smooth-skinned Aztec priest.
Aztec? You're having a laugh. We're not Aztec, we're Olmec.
The last of the Olmec people, as our culture declined as the Aztec rose, as you conquerors arrived in your great ships, we have endured here, watching the centuries roll past, not generation on generation, but one everlasting community, forever young. For, Senor Strideforth, you have at last reached the famed fountain of youth.
Alas! Have I reached my goal only to be sacrificed to the savage gods of these primitive peoples?
Are they really so savage and primitive? Our people spill far more blood for mere gold, for power and control that will slip through their fingers as they draw closer to death.
But death need not be so inevitable.
You really have the secret of eternal life?
It is a process that I, High Priest Albert Glick, developed myself over 2,000 years ago. The original Olmec electrolysis for entropy obstruction through olfaction and osmosis. Ooh, you.
I have come so far in search of this treasure. I will give up everything to bathe in those waters. I will forsake my European roots and live here with you as Imogen has. If only I could succeed in my mission. Fame, glory, youth, no price is too great.
Then we will not deny you. Novice Featherstone, release him and show him to the fountain.
All right, Strideforth, no funny business.
Is this the fabled fountain?
Immerse yourself in the waters, Strideforth.
It's right in there, doesn't it?
Don't worry, it'll warm up in a minute.
Oh, am I a silky, smooth-skinned immortal yet?
Not quite yet.
Hey, yeah, can we have a go?
Yeah, we're not getting any younger.
Ah, the other prisoners. I was just coming to you. Novice Featherstone. Would you be so kind as to explain the process of original Olmec electrolysis for entropy obstruction by olfaction and osmosis? Ooh.
So, you got to give something to get something back, right? So simple as that. It is by the blood of the innocent that life is preserved. Basic science, really.
And that is where these two friends of yours come in.
Oh, I'm being manhandled.
No, get her! Leave me alone!
I've got this one.
Imogen, no! No! Put down that stone knife! I take it back! I don't want this! Oh no! I can't look!
It is by the blood of the innocent life becomes eternal. By this sacrifice we go unnoticed by the powers of time and nature. Praise be to the unseeing eye.
No! No, not this way! Not like this! I feel it working. No, those poor defenseless pensioners! I don't want this! I don't want this! No!
Dark blood mingles with the clear waters of the fountain, performing an arcane alchemy on the flesh of our hero. Strideforth achieves his ambition and pays the price, destined to carry his guilt through eternity. And you too, dear listeners, must now once again take up the burden of your years, be they many or few, and while away the minutes until the next unseen hour. We hope you were invigorated by The Unseen Hour, Episode 12, The Fountain of Dark Waters. It was recorded live at the Rosemary Branch Theatre in London by Andy Goddard. It was performed naively by Brice, Stratford, Joey Timmins, and James Carney, and featured a monologue written by Brodrick Jones and performed by Maggie Turner. The musical guest was Orlando James. Theme music by The Unrecorded. The Unseen Hour is created, written, and produced by James Carney. It was brought to the Rosemary Branch Theatre by Unattended Items, and the podcast is produced spryly by Andy Goddard. You can find The Unseen Hour throughout the dense rainforests of the internet. Try @UnseenHour in various places and see what happens. We all look forward to seeing you here again at The Unseen Hour. And would our guests like to stand and take a bow?
Stand up, everyone. Take a bow!
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be an interval of...